This is the relationship between women and air pollution. This is what you largely also deal with. First of all, you talk about air action, air pollution. Is it one and the same thing?
Yes, broadly.
Okay.
Maybe just to put this in context.
Please.
Since I walked in here, which was almost an hour ago, I can assure you we have, all of us, taken more than 1,000 liters of air, and we have actually shared some air molecules that has gone even to our lungs. There is a certain air molecule here that we have all breathed together. So air is that part of nature that is really intimate, and it's something that connects all of us. But the unfortunate thing is it connects not only humans, but everything else, including animals, including insects, plants, and even more unfortunate, including anything that consumes air, including fires. When you're burning waste, it's consuming some of the oxygen and then releasing some pollutants. And I think when the human body was evolving, or when it was designed by God, the envisioning of the human being ever living in a polluted air space maybe was not considered, because the issues of considering drinking dirty water or eating dirty food was there, because there are some acids in the stomach that try to rectify that. But in terms of air, what you breathe in goes straight to your bloodstream, and there are very few correction mechanisms. We have the airs in our noses and we can actually kick out some of the bigger particles, but the smaller particles and air pollutants go straight to the bloodstream and they become part of us. So when we talk about air pollution, it is an area that has not received a lot of traction in this part of the world, but if we do understand the gravity of air pollution, then we'll start paying more attention to it. Unfortunately, also there is some gender dimensions to air pollution based on the gender roles. For example, what Mary Snyder said, women in Kenya, in most African society, have been given some gender roles, for example, cooking and cleaning, and there are very specific air pollution that comes from those activities. For example, cooking with firewood does emit a lot of smoke, but in technical terms we call those small particulates, and when you breathe that in, it goes straight to your lungs and can cause some very serious health effects. And also the health effect from breathing in dirty air also differs between genders. So there is a need to really...
Just allow me to butt in, let me get that. You just did say that breathing of different airs,
air pollution,
of course, air pollution. It's cut across genders. In what way?
It has different impacts because we are different biologically.
Different impacts.
Yes.
And the different genders.
Yes.
So it's not just that one thing.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So there are the common ailments that emanate from breathing dirty air. Let's just call it dirty air. Some of them is the increase of lung cancer. I was seeing a report for Nairobi that is becoming a major issue of concern. Also issues of upper and lower respiratory diseases. I was actually looking at the Nairobi City County health data, and the top drivers of the health budget in this city is upper and lower respiratory ailments. That drives around 30% of the county's health budget. And you can see it's very closely linked to air pollution. Now going back to your question. Women, because we are different biologically, when we breathe in some of these particles and air pollutants, they do affect our bodies different. There are some common ailments, but there are some also ailments that are segregated by gender. For example, miscarriages, part of it can be attributed to dirty air, breathing dirty air, and some other ailments that I can share later.